Who was the dumbest person you ever met? How did you know? Girl in my class asked the professor if other countries have moons, too. I had a guy at work tell me that Benjamin Franklin was the 100th president because he's on the $100 bill. I mean, we're only on the 45th, so he could be right one day. In another 200 years, a kid may well be named Ben Franklin unironically. Teacher, Ben Franklin unironically. Fuck, present. She thought I was trying to trick her into believing that Adolf Hitler was real. Edit, thank you for my first silver, kind stranger. I know a guy who thinks the special tea he drinks negates the negative health effects of his pack-a-day smoking habit. What's the special tea? I think might have smoked one pack too many. I went to school with a girl that legitimately thought 911 was done by German Nazis. Wow, I have nothing to say about that. Where did she get that idea from? No idea. She was one of the rich pretty types that didn't listen worth a damn. I'm not even sure she could spell her full name. For a while I thought maybe she was just one of those girls who act stupid for attention, but after seeing some of her papers and hearing her thoughts on who did 911, I was certain she was actually stupid. I know a guy who vaped mercury on a dare. Out of everything in this thread, this one's the most ducked up. Where does one even get mercury for vape? We hired a girl a couple years ago. I told her where the manager's office was her first day. Second day, she asked me where the manager's office was, so I walked her to the door. Third day, she asks me where it is again. Our manager chewed out the girl who trained our new recruit for not teaching the job properly. The trainer pulled out her phone and showed the manager a picture of the girl wearing the uniform backwards and said, "Look at this. This is untrainable." New girl got fired about 3 weeks later for stealing the product because she thought she got it for free because she was an employee. Edit. Some of you were kind enough to give her the benefit of the doubt about not finding the office. Unfortunately, this office was located on the second floor, which consisted of a hallway with a single door, and nothing else. It wasn't possible to get lost. Also, spelling. This reminds me of a girl I like to remember as Moghan. She would just glaze over and leave her body when you delivered the most basic instructions. It was not a hard job. She hugged me when I fired her 2 weeks later. Edit. I think back and still remember her dearly. I won't give the real example since it might give away too much info, but it was similar to not knowing that a human is supposed to have 2 arms and not 3. She was unbearably dense, but I really tried to give her a chance. My staff and my customers were getting pretty frustrated with her, so I didn't really have a choice. I promise I let her down gently. She could tell I felt bad, which is why she hugged me. Edit 2. I am going to give an example of a time when someone probably thought I was the biggest idiot in the world. My assistant manager's BF came to visit with cool nude glasses. White on the outside, black on the inside. I asked him if they were reversible. Man, I went to school with a girl like that. Lights were on, but nobody was home. I thought people exaggerated just how dumb she could be. Then one day she walks into the room I'm working in. We are the only people in there. I'm working on rebuilding an arcade cabinet. She asks what I'm working on. I explain it. She seems like she understands, and then says, "So like for in a pool, right?" I didn't quite hear her, I thought, so I said, "Yeah, they probably have some in a pool hall, but this one's going in my basement." She says, "No, like, it's for in a pool, right? A swimming pool." Yeah, like underwater. Oh, no, not usually. She then pressed all the button, made beep boop sounds, then wandered back out. Pretty sure she now lives in a penthouse apartment in another country, paid for by her dad. My headcanon is that she had a massive crush on you and just beefed it. Like, The second she walked out the door, she's like in a ducking pool, Karen. God damn it. I remember proofreading a paper for a freshman my roommate had the hots for. It was on Jonathan Swift's A Modest Proposal, but somehow this freshman didn't catch that it was satire. The opening lines of the paper are burned into my memory. Eating children would not be a good thing to do. In fact, we could say it would be bad. Well, we could say that, but would it be true? I used to work with the nicest person I've ever met, but he was also the dumbest. Even though he had been there over a year, he couldn't do anything beside washing dishes without someone watching over him. He just could not figure out how to do anything on his own. Someone, usually me, would have to watch over every little thing he did to make sure he was doing it right. It would have been frustrating if he wasn't the nicest damn person on earth. He was always so happy to see you and did everything with a smile on his face. Luckily, he could wash dishes like a ducking beast. I'm not exaggerating when I say he could wash dishes faster and cleaner than anyone I have ever met. That's the reason he would do other stuff, is because he washed dishes so damn fast we'd have to find other stuff for him to do. His wife was normal and all his kids were doctors or engineers. They were all crazy smart. What was kind of sad is that he knew he wasn't the smartest, but he was so damn nice. The fact he knew he wasn't the smartest actually shows he's pretty intelligent in at least that specific way, and humble. Most dumb people have no idea they're dumb. This is probably the only person in the whole thread who I actually look up to. Edit, Dunning-Kruger effect. Yes, you guys can stop sharing that with me now, haha. Kind of makes me wonder if he used to be actually smart and then suffered a TBI. I used to be smart AF, but now that I'm older I know my brain doesn't work near as fast or well as it used to. My memory is shit. On the flip side, honestly, pleading ignorance about things has its benefits. As I got older, I was forgetting things so often I asked my doctor if I had Alzheimer's. I was really stressed about it because I used to have a mind like a steel trap. Anyway, she told me that Alzheimer's isn't forgetting where your keys are, it's forgetting what your keys are for. That kind of cleared it up for me. Getting old sucks. As you get older, your brain takes shortcuts to make up for the slight reduction in shear speed. This is how you start forgetting where you put things and the like, because you're still acting like when you were younger. For example, the keys. You probably just throw them down somewhere without even thinking about it, right? Simple way to fix this problem is to think about the keys when you put them down, putting the keys down on the table. Very likely your memory will get much better in no time doing that. I had a boss who told me that she never kept leftovers from a meal because that's how polio got started. All that pre-cooked food in the supermarket, it's all polio. Edit, my first silver. Thank you, stranger. I was working in a French company. We were working with a dev team in Vietnam on some project. The project manager they report to in HQ is French. They didn't like him and he knew it. The Vietnamese team did some great job. He wanted to find the correct words to congratulate them, hoping to smoothen the future relationship. He sent an incredible thank you email, #X200B, when we see the quality of your work, we can only realize how sad it is that we lost you guys as a colony. #X200B, the French expats in the Vietnam office told me they were hiding in shame for a full week. Edit, I never thought I would be that guy, but thank you, kind strangers, for l'argent, smiley face, that it too. For those of you saying this is typical Frenchness, I am French myself and all the other French in CC were just as WTF as I was. Oh God. I need a spatula to peel my eyebrows from the ceiling. A girl in an AP US history class laughed at me when I was talking about driving to Alaska from Oregon. She insisted Alaska was an island because of how it is separated out on maps like this. I don't know if she was the dumbest person I met overall, but it was certainly the dumbest thing someone insisted they were right about. Edit. I'm happy this turned out to be educational. I don't know how it can be cold when it's down there, right by Hawaii. Hawaii is always warm. Maybe it's the mountains. Some girl at my school thought the same thing, and we asked her why Hawaii was hot and Alaska was cold if they were right next to each other. No shit, she said that it was because the beaches at Hawaii make it hot. I asked a temp that worked to weigh a couple of lever arch files for postage. She came back and told me they were 65 kilograms. I asked if it were possible that it was 6.5 kilograms, but she insisted it wasn't. We argued about it for a good 5 minutes. It wasn't until I asked her how much she weighed, 59 kilograms, that it finally twigged that these two small folders couldn't possibly weigh more than her. Bold move asking her how much she weighs. Edit. My first silver. I'm humbled and honored. Thank you, stranger. Edit 2. Double silver. I feel so exceptionally adequate. Edit 3. Silver hat trick. I can't thank you all enough. Edit 4. Is there a limit on Reddit silver? Edit 5. This Reddit silver is at least 65 kilograms on my account now. It's great. Edit 6. Correction, 6.5 kilograms. Pure frustration.